Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests, our lovely patrons, and our awesome YouTube audience to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and today I'm joined by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Steve Bowling and Ash Paulson. No guest today. I reached out to quite a few, but everybody's kind of busy today, so... Oh well, hey, those times happen, so it's just the way it goes. But I guess before we get too far, I'm going to jump right into this, have it right out as soon as possible. As always, on Mondays, we are sponsored by The Game Orb. And The Game Orb is a fledgling channel that is focused mostly on Nintendo content until recently. While they are still running Let's Plays of Nintendo games like Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, going forward, they're covering games on the Xbox Series X like Portal Still Alive and Rocket League as part of a fresh daily upload schedule. So be sure to subscribe to The Game Orb at the link in the description. Plus, we'll have likely a pinned message in the chat.
Yep.
And thank you for that, as well as their friend the Galactic Reaper. Check both of them out. We recently got Game Orb past 350 subs, and our next goal is 400. So.
Hell yeah.
Working away there.
Let's get them there. If you could just go check out the Game Orb and Galactic Reaper. Check out their awesome content. Subscribe to their channel. Let's get Game Orb over 400 subs if we can. The Game Orb, thank you so much for your incredible support of our channel right from the very beginning. Very beginning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. But how is your weekends?
Bad. Real bad.
Well, crap.
Sorry to hear that.
What happened?
Yeah, as y'all know, I missed we lost Dash's back.
No,
okay.
my camera was frozen, so yeah, I'm
worries.
back now.
I lost Saturday, like entirely. I woke up, I told Ash, I think I was feeling really bad. Like just my stomach was hurting, like it was full of knives or something. I don't know. I probably ate something bad or something like that. And I woke up around 6 and by noon, I was just like, yep, it's time to take a nap. And I forgot to tell Ashley that we had an EP stream. I forgot to set an alarm. I just fell asleep and she felt so bad for me that she was like, I'm going to take the kids, get out of the house, let him just sleep this off. And then I woke up on Sunday at 4 in the morning.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm just glad you're feeling better, man. Do you know
I felt great after I woke up, but I have no clue what happened.
How you went to sleep at noon and woke up at 4? That's 16 hours of sleep?
16 hours.
Wow.
And
holy
I
crap.
regret nothing.
I
regret missing our EP stream for sure, but apparently I really needed to sleep. I was very tired.
My God.
I mean, you did miss an epic Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tournament win by yours truly, Steve. I have to say.
I don't think my presence would have changed the outcome.
He cheated mercilessly. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. I game sharked all over the place. Yeah.
Weird thing is, we found out apparently the online for Quake on Switch kind of sucks because it did not want to start from your Ash. So,
man.
We should have.
Apparently, it's only the Switch version that's broken right now for the online play. So we were going to play Quake and Mario Kart, but very quickly we realized it's just going to be Mario Kart because Quake's not working yet.
A lot of reviews reviewed the Switch version of Quake, at least they claimed to, and nobody mentioned the fact that the online did not work.
That is really interesting. Our good friend and previous guest, MVG, worked on Quake, these new iterations of Quake, and I believe he was actually involved with the Switch port directly. I could be wrong. It was either Switch or Xbox, and I don't remember which one he did, but I'm fairly certain it was Switch. So I wonder if he would know anything about that. Maybe.
I wonder. I don't know. Because, Derek, I know you found a forum, like a forum topic, asking about the issue we were having, but it was locked by a moderator because it was in the wrong area of the forum. Right?
Somebody else found that. I forget who, but somebody else found that. I found one that complained about it on PC and a workaround for it, but apparently it's been fixed by now.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. So it's just It was Rob. It was Rob who looked that up. So.
Yeah, Rob also clarifies that MVG worked on the Switch, Xbox, and a little bit on the PC versions of this Quake re-release, which is cool. We should have him on to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time he releases a game, apparently.
Absolutely.
Just makes sense.
NEB getting us started with our good wordplay on Monday, early in the week. One of my favorite desserts is cheesequake. I love it, Eddie. I love it.
That sounds
Now I
so
just
gross.
I know, but I also
It really
want
does.
it.
I would definitely try.
It makes me think of cheesecake, and I just want cheesecake now. So there
Right.
it is.
Mm.
This past weekend I did nothing too crazy, though I did finally finish up the discussion on Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney Part 1. That was a lot of fun. Steadily working my way through Great Ace Attorney 2 right now. I'm in just started Case 2, and hopefully we'll get that up pretty soon because Ant and Ted are both ahead of me. Vacationing kind of things kind of disrupted that. But hopefully should catch up, and definitely want to have it up by before the end of September. So
Nice.
looking
Nice.
forward to
I'm
that.
in. My wife and I played a little bit over the weekend. We are right squarely in the middle of Case 3. Don't know exactly how far along we are, but we're in the Part 2 of the trial in Case 3, and now we've of course met the prosecutor Von Zeeks, and quite the character.
Yeah,
Quite
isn't he?
the character. He's what he appears to be the racist prosecutor, and it's really intense.
We talked
He's-
about that. He is outright
Oh.
racist. Yes, he is.
Man, it's really awkward. The
You could
shit
ju-
he
you could
says to
just-
Ryunosuke.
And the fact they get through it, and the fact there's like my learned Nipponese friend.
Terrible.
Oh.
Terrible. We're just sitting there. My wife and I are sitting there playing. We're like, oh my God, how much this guy's just so racist. And we're like, it makes you want to beat him that much more, though. Like it makes you want to, break down his case and win the case that much more. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
It's good stuff. Case 3 is my favorite, actually.
That's what you said. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Mm-hmm. Case 4 and 5 are still really good, but three just ended up being my favorite. I am looking forward to seeing cases 3, 4, and 5 of 2 though, because I got one of Ant Dude's classic. Oh man, oh man.
Nice.
Nice. I still need
Very
to start
nice.
those games. I really want to. But I've been told by multiple people that if you're into like true crime series, that Ace Attorney is really good, scratches that itch. And Ashley loves true crime stuff, so I keep trying to like goad her into playing it with me.
She'd like it. She'd like it.
Yeah, I think she'd like it.
That's what I think too,
The
which is
solo's
why. Oh my
Holy
god!
crap! All right, well, Ashley
Wow.
is a wonderful person, Steve, but I think we should get to super chats. And we got one before this, but so I'm going to go
Holy shit.
in order. But Jacob Tucker with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Going, hey GG, I don't know about y'all, but I really hope there's a Nintendo Direct this week because I'm already antsy for Nintendo news. I am excited for that. I'm hoping for one. I just hope it's not next week. Specifically Friday, because I'm good. My
That's
mom's
tough.
wedding is coming up on the 11th, and I'm not going to be around Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
I was going to say, I hope it's not this week because, Steve and I are traveling to PAX this week. And so it's going to be a bit of a busy week for us. But at the same time, when you put it like that, Derek, maybe it would be better to have it this week.
well, maybe I don't know, because maybe next week makes a little bit more sense, just because I should still be around for Tuesday through Thursday, of course, Monday through Thursday, up until Friday. It's just, we don't know. So the week after that, I'd be fine with. I know we have to wait longer, but I'm being
I would be fine
selfish.
waiting as well, but I do have to give Jacob a little bit of credit because there is precedent for this.
There is.
Not necessarily a direct, but Nintendo did a few years ago at PAX West on the very first day announced the new 3DS. They were just like,
right.
And I
That is
remember going to our Nintendo rep at the time and being like, hey, that DS you just announced on the first day of PAX, it has to be here, right? And they're like, no, absolutely not. It's not here at all.
I remember that. We passed
Blown
around. It was
away.
Right.
it's just there.
Yep.
The only time that worked out is when I was going to one of those classic post E3 meetups with Nintendo, and the day I was going, they announced the SNES Classic. So I did not know anything until I was already on the
Right.
I was going through the streets, and all of a sudden Andre gets a hold of me. He's like, SNES Classic. I'm like, what? And he's like, ask if they have it. Ask if they have it. And I'm like, get there. It's like, so I heard you guys announce something, and yep, here it is. And it was right there for me to get pictures of and all that.
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
That's when I first learned about all the games involved, because I didn't even get any of that. I just saw it was announced, though.
Right.
It's like, oh crap, Star Fox 2 is here.
Yeah,
But
Nintendo's timing on things like that can be very odd.
Yeah.
It just there has to be a plan, but I wonder who makes it and what factors into it.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But there's a reason we freaked out. It's because Storysmith, with an immensely generous, holy crap, $99.99 super chat. Thank you
Wow.
so much. And
Holy crap.
absolutely send them some good vibes, because they're saying need some good vibes sent my way, because my 60 plus year old mom has broken her elbow last Friday, and the hospital we went to sent her home with just painkillers and said to come back today, only to tell it's too serious and tell us to go to a trauma center this Wednesday. I really hope that the whole
Jeez. Yeah.
COVID resurgence isn't what's clogging up the hospital for her. But it's, I mean, it's just one of those things, like, really, you send her home with painkillers? That's ridiculous. So I just hope she gets
her elbow.
Yeah, seriously. Just
I mean,
I hope it gets fixed up.
Like a thing that they would take care of immediately. I mean, I've
You would
been
think.
unfortunate enough to break a bone once in my life. I wish it upon no one ever.
I've never done it, thankfully.
And it is it's, I mean, as medical procedures go, it is probably one of the less complicated things to deal with, because you don't have to suss out what's wrong. You know what's wrong.
Yeah, it's quite obvious.
Right.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Storysmith, one, thank you so much for the super chat. It's incredibly generous, too. As somebody whose mom is also, you know, in that same age range, I appreciate your concern. My mom's got something going on with her foot right now, and doctors similarly seem to just be like, you know, like, we'll get to it when we get to it. So I understand your frustration. I hope your mom gets better real soon. I hope they take care of her elbow, her arm, you know, whatever is going on. And yeah, I absolutely share how you feel about this. It is despicable, like, when someone you care about is in pain, and the people whose job it is to help seem to not take it
Indifferent.
seriously.
Yeah. Storysmith, seriously, thank you so much for your incredibly generous donation. But most importantly, we're all pulling for you and your mom. We hope she gets the care that she needs, and good vibes to both of you. I'm really sorry that happened, and I hope she's better and on the mend sooner rather than later. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I can't really say it enough or emphatic, you know, just putting all my heart out there, because I hope she's okay. It's
For sure. Keep
truly,
us updated.
yeah, just get her.
Definitely.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, keep us updated.
So here's hoping. But well, with that said, shall we get to the news?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Lighten the
All
mood.
right. Lighten the mood a bit. We'll just default back to where we were.
Well done.
All right. So
Nice,
Bravely
nice.
Default 2 has surpassed 950,000 units in sales. And remember, this is a Switch exclusive, so that's pretty dang good. I'm actually very pleased with that number, even though I haven't picked it up myself. I kind of need to play the other ones. And of course, Square Enix also announced that it's coming to PC, so it's no longer Switch exclusive, which should greatly open it up and really increase those sales. But that's great. I'm glad this series is doing so well for Square Enix, and has this sort of modest, would you say, AA? It has to be a AA title at this point.
I would say so at this point.
Yeah, I would say so at this point. Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously, done well enough that they are going to bring it to PC, which is, good news. I have gone on the record saying that I have my own criticisms of Bravely Default 2 compared to Bravely Second, which I do think is a lot better. But I have enjoyed what I played of Bravely Default 2, and certainly, I'm happy to see the series continue to be successful sales-wise, because I want the series as an idea and as a concept to keep on going. I love that this represents kind of their classic Final Fantasy brand of RPG series right now, and I want to see this series continue. I just hope they, do a proper Bravely Third, or maybe just bring back some of what I loved about Bravely Second so much.
No, we're going to get a Bravely Second too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Bravely Second 2.
Bravely Second,
but yeah,
the second.
I'm just glad that this, that this series continues to catch on and do well sales-wise, because I think it fills a niche that otherwise doesn't quite exist for Square, and I appreciate that.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's nice that we got Dragon Quest for, mostly classic RPG stuff, but that's, Dragon Quest. It's a little bit different from Final Fantasy. Bravely Default fulfills classic Final Fantasy. wishes, I'd
Right.
say.
Yeah,
With a
I think
new-
so too.
That makes sense. I just I enjoyed the original Bravely Default on the 3DS.
3DS.
And I don't know what it is. I just haven't been able to pick up any of the other games and really I think it's just kind of the curse of RPGs that I look at
Sure.
them and I get intimidated by the runtime, and I just don't allow myself to get absorbed into them too much. I mean, I'm guilty of that, but if I had to play an RPG at this point, I feel like I would still look to either Dragon Quest 11 or Persona 5 first, and I'd want to beat those.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to have the time to play these, and I think that's where I'm at with it. I look at this and I'm like, I forgot Bravely Default 2 came out. I was like, oh, that game did release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking back to February, it's hard to remember some of these things, but
Game of the Year will be interesting this year, though I will be the first to admit, unfortunately, I don't think Bravely Default 2 is in the running for me for Game of the Year.
No, not
time
for
to
me.
play.
This has been just a really good year.
As Juan in our live audience patron chat points out, but Ash, the producer, said sorry for Bravely Second for some reason. And yeah, for some reason. I remember that story. I remember reading it and thinking, am I the only one over here thinking like Bravely Second was awesome? Why are you apologizing? I don't want developers to apologize for their games or feel like they need to anyway. But I mean, if you're going to apologize, I guess maybe apologize for Bravely Default 2. Don't apologize at all. My point is Bravely Second was great. And I don't know why they apologize for it. Like, it was such an amazing game. So I don't get it. I saw that 2-1. It's a shame that they seem to have gotten the idea that Bravely Second wasn't well received by anyone, but perhaps my opinion's a minority one, and most people didn't like it. I don't know.
I have no idea. Sketch NPM says Bravely Second is considered the best game in the series. Maybe to the Western audience, maybe the Japanese audience hated it.
Yeah,
I guess
possible.
I don't know. It's so weird. It was my game of the year that year. That's how much I loved Bravely Second. So I really don't get the idea of apologizing for it. It's a shame, but oh well.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird. Well, good on them. I'm glad it's still selling well, so we can get another sequel, whatever form that might take.
yeah.
But just a nice little small story to start with. And honestly, we got another small story for our second one, though I have a feeling this will excite you guys.
Definitely me.
Yeah. So, the creator of the Cruis'n series had at least a recent interview because Cruis'n Blast is coming up. And they mentioned that they've been taught in a quote to... I missed who it's going. The quote's to. I'm so sorry.
Eugene Jarvis.
Yeah, well, Eugene Jarvis is the one who made the quote, but I don't know where the interview came from.
Oh, let's see.
But either way, he's been saying
Nintendo Life.
It is Nintendo Life. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was to anybody else in Nintendo Life. Just picked it up. Either way, Eugene Jarvis, which is just like, boy, that's a nerdy name for such a cool series. Good on you, man. But he said, we've been tossing around some ideas. One thing I've been tossing around is to remaster the classic arcade Cruis'n trilogy, especially for the Switch, up-resing the content to full HD and a solid 60 hertz frame rate, which would mean we'd get Cruis'n USA, Cruis'n World, and Cruis'n Exotica.
Please.
That would be cool.
Cruis'n the world. Yeah. I love these games, man. I love these games.
I only played them like a handful of times. Yeah, I've only played them a handful of times, but they were ubiquitous at the arcades. I was like,
oh yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
No,
the Cruis'n games were some of the ones that like they were on the God, what was the name of the arcade board that was supposed to be what was in the N64, but wasn't. But they advertised it as like your early arcade games, and the two that stuck out in my mind were Killer Instinct and Cruis'n USA, and they would say like Ultra 64 before the game started. And so those were the games that like I was most excited to check out when I got my N64, because I was like, oh, this is like having the arcade machines of those games at home. It's not, but it was but I spent a lot of time playing Cruis'n. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean it is just such an awesome arcade racer, and I would love to see these on Switch at 60 FPS.
Yep,
I'll take it.
That'd be butter.
I mean, I've already been talking about how Cruis'n Blast for Switch was low-key one of my most hype announcements of Nintendo's E3 Direct, and I'm still looking forward to the game. I'm lucky enough to have a Cruis'n Blast machine at a local bowling alley that my wife and I play on sometimes. It's a really fun game. I love these games. I played Cruis'n USA on N64. That was my jam back at the near the N64's launch. I played that so much, 100% of the whole game, and it was funny because I recently played it again at a party where they had a bunch of retro consoles set up. And it's funny how, hindsight's 2020, but I couldn't believe playing Cruis'n USA on N64. That thing runs at like 15 FPS. But back then, it didn't matter. It looked incredible. But man, looking at it today, it's funny just how badly it's aged. I would love to see all 3 games remastered, full 60 FPS, more arcade racers, period. Eugene Jarvis, if you're listening, and why wouldn't you be? Because this is today's news tonight. Do it, man. Do it. You have my full support. I will buy all 3, or I'll buy them in a combo pack. Whatever, man. I'm in. I'm in for Cruis'n Remastered.
Nice.
Get EA on that Beetle Adventure Racing remake.
Oh, right.
Oh, goodness. Actually, I'll read this out now because it just seems so pertinent. But Jared Helder with a $2 Canadian super chat saying, I pre-ordered Cruis'n Blast. Is that a safe bet? Ash, I'm going to defer to you because I've never actually played any of the Cruis'n games. They've just an arcade staple, but it was like $1 to play, I think. So I was like, I'm too cheap.
I mean, as long as you are not looking for like a driving sim, like a realistic driving sim like Gran Turismo, you're going to be fine. Like Cruis'n it's basically a pure arcade racer. All sorts of wacky things going on in the tracks, like alien invasions and dinosaurs rampaging. I'm pretty sure you can play as a dinosaur. I think you can play as a unicorn, like a flying unicorn in one of these. I don't know. But basically, as long as you're in for like a San Francisco Rush style, just kind of goofy arcade racer, all sorts of over-the-top shit happening, you're in good hands with Cruis'n, I would say. Now, of course, I haven't played the Switch version of Cruis'n Blast because it's not out yet. I can't guarantee anything on that front. But if we're talking about the series pedigree, if you're in for, a goofy, over-the-top arcade racer, I think you're in really good hands with Cruis'n Blast. And I'm personally really excited for it, so we'll find out together.
Oh, yeah. I definitely am excited for this game. Not as much as you, Ash, but I'm into the series, and I feel like there's a serious lack of just arcade racers in general all over the landscape, not just on Switch, but everywhere. And it's one of those genres that I feel is like ripe for a resurgence, but no one seems to want to. So I'm hopeful someday.
Bandai Namco, I will do things with a capital T for another Ridge Racer game, guys. So I'm just saying, I'm here. You got one person at least who will buy a new Ridge Racer game. I'm just saying. One. Just one.
That is tempting. That is so tempting. Okay, I just looked up the arcade version of Cruis'n USA and I didn't realize it was digitized graphics.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's wild.
And some aspects of the Cruis'n games certainly haven't aged well, like the bikini babes holding the signs and counting down. That hasn't aged well. But the rest of the game, I just love how wacky fun they are.
It is. I picked looking at a pretty normal level, it looks like. But what's striking to me right now is how much the original is kind of almost like the classic NES racers, where they're getting some height there with hills, but it's mainly the roads curving and you just sort of have it procedurally generate in front of you. It's like, different time. But you can still see the fun. You can still see the fun of it. Like there's something appealing about it still. Right. So that's exciting. Actually, real quick before we move on to the next one, Ash, I wanted to mention this to you. Speaking of 60 FPS, have you gotten a chance to check out the 60 FPS upgrade for Horizon Zero Dawn?
I haven't yet. No, I've been playing another 60 FPS game over the weekend, but I really want to check that out. I imagine it looks amazing, right?
Holy crap. Like,
nice.
Me being in the middle of it, it was one of the few times I could actually see I went from 1 week being this one way and then starting up this week and being like, holy crap, it just looks so much more crisp.
Also, you could notice in this case. I know sometimes you have a hard time.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I actually noticed.
Yeah, I mean, Horizon was already, and I know Steve will agree with me here, Horizon was already a stunningly beautiful game in 30 FPS on PS4. And so to have it in 60 FPS, I got to find some time just to check that out. I won't have time to play through the whole game again, unfortunately, but but I do at least want to just dive back into that game for a couple hours and just enjoy the frame rate boost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah, Nathan, the Resident Evil 2 fanatic, Bloodborne 60 FPS patch. I can guarantee so many people would be happy about that.
Oh, so happy. Well, the thing is, it's already been unlocked. There was like already an unofficial mod by players that unlocked the frame rate, suggesting that it should be perfectly doable, but it just hasn't been done in an official capacity yet.
I don't know. I'm waiting on a special time. I don't know.
Yeah,
waiting on for Bloodborne 2 to get announced, and then there you go. Here's the original uprest or something.
Soulcaster, yes, it's PS5 only. The 60 FPS patch is only on PS5.
Yeah, so
yeah,
bit limited. But well, let's go ahead and move on to the next story, which this is a weird one. I don't know about this one. So there is a report that Yakuza's creator Toshiro Nagoshi may be leaving Sega in order to join NetEase. And this is a report from Bloomberg. Nagoshi's been with Sega since 1989. He's worked on, according to this Kotaku article, he's worked on everything from Daytona 500 to Virtual Fighter to F-Zero GX. He's also worked, of course, on Super Monkey Ball. So that's I think that was also his creation. But I guess there has been some signs since he did step down from Sega's board of directors and his role as chief creative officer of the company earlier this year. So he might just be looking for other things because apparently NetEase really wants to compete with Tencent.
Right.
I don't know.
This makes me really sad for the same reason that it makes Rob Armanex in our live audience chat sad. They say, God, this makes me so upset. He's one of the last classic Sega guys that still pump out amazing work. And that's exactly how I feel about this. You're telling me the creator of Sega Rally, Monkey Ball, and Yakuza, anytime you tell me they're leaving Sega, of course I'm going to get sad. Now, it is important to note, though, as the Kotaku article notes, this one man isn't responsible by himself for creating these games. So, of course, these series will likely continue to endure and thrive. Will hopefully thrive, at least endure, even after his departure. But still, to know that the man responsible for them, behind them, is probably leaving is definitely... It's a blow to a classic Sega fan such as myself. I love classic old school arcade Sega so much. And so, to have one of the brain children behind so much of that content from them be leaving is definitely, it's a bummer. There's really no way around it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. This is bad on a couple of fronts for me. One is that, like you said, Ash, this is one of, we already lost Yu Suzuki. We lost Yuji Naka. We lost a lot of talent. Naoto Oshima, a bunch of the people that made Sega great have already left. And I get it. 1989 was a long time ago. But at the same time, there is something comforting about knowing that someone that has, there's still some talent there that's been there since way back when. And I find it really unfortunate, but I get it. Sega probably can't compete with NetEase or Tencent in terms of what they can offer employees financially. Right. These guys are huge. And I'm sure that anybody, right, at some point, there's an amount of money that will turn your head, regardless of how long you've been somewhere. Like if somebody said, hey, Steve, leave GVG and we'll pay you $1 million a year, I'd be like, I love Ash and Derek, but that is a lot of cheddar.
I mean, I drop you guys pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But the second part of this, the second thing that makes me really sad about this is that I feel like this is going to be another one of those stories where a very talented individual who is well known within their studio leaves to go do something new, and it just isn't the same. You realize that so much of what made this person personally successful is the contributions of the rest of their team. And the old team will suffer for not having that person, and this person will suffer for not having their team. And everything will just get a little bit worse. And I hope that isn't what happens here. But it is a story that's played out multiple times over the last decade. So the pessimist in me says that Yakuza games are going to get worse, and NetEase is going to put out some stuff that's maybe only mildly better than what they were doing before.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see this going too.
There are success stories. Look at Platinum. I mean, granted, Capcom hasn't done anything with Clover Studios IPs at all since the guys left to form Platinum, but at least Platinum was successful, made a lot of iconic games. So it's not impossible, but yeah,
absolutely not impossible. And I would hope that we could I would hope that we could see something great happen here. But when I hear like giant corporation hires really talented guy, I'm not like, this is going to be good. Like I'm always, yeah. If it was him going off to found his own studio, I'd be slightly more optimistic. I just wonder like it had to be a lot of money, like a lot of money.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
What else does NetEase have? I'm not even sure.
I'm not familiar with NetEase. I'm only familiar with Tencent.
Tencent has a little bit of everything.
I'm seeing. Oh, there's not really a lot listed here. We got Cyber Hunter, Diablo Immortal, Fantasy Westward Journey, Marvel Super War.
With Blizzard to operate Chinese versions of their games. Makes you want to put puppies and kittens up on the screen instead.
Yeah. I still have that button.
They definitely don't seem to have a lot. Like I think they got a license agreement to license Blizzard's Overwatch in PRC, so China. They got licenses for Minecraft. Basically, they just sort of develop and they don't have a lot. They really don't. So I guess they're just trying to compete with Tencent.
Of a bummer. Yeah.
It is mostly mobile. I don't see any console stuff here. So
it's such a bummer. I mean, of course, again, you can't never blame Nagoshi if he's getting, a big fat paycheck to leave. I get that for sure, but man, it's such a bummer. It's just, it's a bummer in a holistic sense for the rest of us who love his output and love his content, but and his development sensibilities. But hey, for him, if he's getting a big fat paycheck, good for him. Take it. I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah, I do have to say, someone mentioned in the YouTube side of the chat that this is kind of similar to hearing that Miyamoto is leaving Nintendo. And while it's definitely not on that magnitude, unfortunately, I think Nagoshi is not, well known enough to where people like you don't hear pop culture references to the creator of Yakuza. But I do think that for Sega, it's a similar level of impact. Like it's a pretty big departure if this is all true, right? Where this is all still
we don't know. It's still undecided as far as we can tell.
Right.
So hard to say. Also, despite us not really knowing the games for NetEase, they do have annual revenues of that exceed $1 billion.
Right.
So,
which
NetEase is huge. They got some deep pockets.
They're doing all right.
Yeah, they're doing fine. And again, can't blame Nagoshi-san. And I guess we'll see what happens. But respect to his development teams as well. I don't want to make it seem like as though this one man leaving means those series are ruined.
Oh no,
like you, Steve, I share your concerns, and I'm a little worried that maybe they will go downhill, but maybe not. And these are made by entire teams of people. So let's cross our fingers and hope that we keep getting, the games we love in these series that he helmed, depending on what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, also, this report was that they're finalizing a contract. It could very well be that Nagoshi is just trying to get Sega to pay him more, right? And, this contract leaking comes at an appropriate time, right? And maybe Sega will, realizing what they're about to lose, rush out and be like, okay, we'll give you more money, just don't go.
Yeah, I think Yakuza at this point is one of their most profitable series, so...
Yeah. I mean, Sega absolutely, if he's unhappy with his pay and you can afford it, you absolutely should pay him more.
By the way, before we move on, I actually did, because this is kind of related to Steve, I had to ask you, I did watch the new Lost Judgment story trailer over the weekend, and I have to ask you if you have, because it's so good.
I am in the same place with Lost Judgment as I am with Metroid Dread. I'm just not consuming more trailers at this point.
Makes sense. Got it. Cool.
Yep. That makes sense. But speaking of cents and dollars, because, oh my God,
Wow.
Mega Amster, jeez, you guys are getting super generous tonight. Wow. With a $49.99 super chat, Mega Amster, thank you so much. Saying, hey guys, been following all of you for years now and wanted to celebrate moving into my new apartment by donating to my favorite internet trio. Thank you for the passion and dedication you always put into your content. Here's to more good vibes. Wow. Congratulations on the new apartment.
Thank you. Yeah. Congrats. That's an awesome feeling. Good for you.
I don't know if it's your first apartment or just a new, better one, but either way, I always love that good sense of freedom. Hopefully you're in a good spot. Could easily walk to cool things, like go down and get a pizza if you want to, or something like that.
Oh yeah,
that is definitely one of the criterion by which I judge my apartment quality.
And I can guarantee you that your apartment is awesome because the first word in your username tells me you have damn good taste, Mega Amster. So I bet your apartment's awesome. No, but seriously, thank you very much for the incredibly kind donation and for the incredibly kind words. That means so much to us. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
The apartment itself was cheap and not great, but it was cheap. But it was within walking distance to a good Chinese place, a Little Caesars, and a ice cream place. I'm like, all right, well, nice. I'm kind of set.
I will say, having stayed at Ash's apartment and officially having my bearings about what's around him, he has a damned fine apartment. There's food everywhere.
It's so great here. Everywhere. Also, it makes it impossible to keep weight off, but it's really convenient.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Also, Mega Amster's in our live audience patron chat saying hi.
Ooh, hello.
Thank you for hanging out with us in live audience chat. And I know you said you don't usually interact with chat too much, but y'all are the best. Well, would love to have you here in chat anytime you want to be. Thank you so much for being here and for being part of the community, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you would like to join our live audience patron chat, patreon.com/GVGaming, where you can find out more.
Only $1.
There you go.
Yep.
Actually, is the live audience $1 or is it $5?
No, $5 gets you into the live audience chat. $1 gets you into our exclusive Discord, which has like 200 channels.
Yeah.
The live audience channel is at the live audience tier, and then there's producer, executive producer, a whole bunch of other ones,
and
all
so
the way
forth,
up to TNT sponsor, which you'll hear more about at the end of the show.
There you go.
By the way, I hope that's okay with you, Mega Amster, but Eddie B says your apartment is new. I hope that's okay. Apparently it is. With you, man.
I don't know if it was just me, but Ash sounded like a robot through that whole thing. I didn't catch a word.
He does like a robot for me.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
There he is.
He's back.
So what was the bad news?
We're all back, by the way. I believe that.
Yes, I do see it. It says excellent connection.
I have lost Derek, however. My internet went down for like a hot second.
For once, it wasn't my internet.
That's weird because we were talking to you.
Oh, I'm sure you guys were. I could hear bits and pieces.
Oh, like we could see you moving. It was very weird.
Yeah, that's why I just stopped talking and started making faces at the screen instead.
Oh God, I am the chat. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say I am the chat.
Yeah, I was worried because I was complaining like Ash said something and I was like, oh, I couldn't hear it. And that happens sometimes. But then I realized I couldn't hear Derek either. And I started to freak out. And then I went to the chat to see what people were saying. And it said I was disconnected from the chat. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And right as I was about to reboot my router, everything came back to working. So hi, we're still here, I think.
We're here. For once, it wasn't Spectrum on my end. For once.
Weird.
I'm so happy.
Huh.
Yes.
Well, that was scary. Well, yeah, that was scary. You know what else is scary? Our next news topic.
Ooh, that was so well done.
Segue.
Way to recover.
I love it.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
So, the first screens from the new Resident Evil reboot movie called Welcome to Raccoon City have been released. And as a reminder, this movie is based on Resident Evil 1 and 2. So we have screens of Leon and Claire. We have everybody in the entryway to the Spencer estate. So we get to see Chris and Jill and Barry and I think Wesker might be there. I can't tell who's Wesker. And actually, surprise of all surprise, Lisa Trevor's here. She's going to be featured. So
this looks cool so far.
Yeah.
I appreciate Nibel letting us know for sure from the interview with the director Johannes Roberts that these are not connected to any of the previous movies. Thank the Lord. That is objectively a good thing. It's a return to the franchise's horror roots, also a good thing. And apparently, Capcom worked closely with the team, so hopefully this will result in something a little bit more true to form where Resident Evil's concerned compared to the previous movies.
Yeah.
I like
They-
the
they-
idea that it's based on like 1 and 2. I feel like neither of them would stand alone very well as a movie, but there's some good like linkage that happens there. So I'm excited to see it, but I wonder how you do the handoff between Chris and Jill and Leon and Claire. Like how does that
I feel
happen?
like you almost go back and forth. Like Claire arrives looking for Chris, and Claire and Leon arrive as they're looking for Chris, and have all the crazy stuff going on in the city while they deal with the mansion, and like it just
that's
so
true.
happened to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Make it all happen contemporaneously. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Leon doesn't look like Leon at all, although the interview goes into why that was an intentional creative decision. And
okay.
that's fine. I get, they basically said, the director said that some video game movie adaptations, they think, focus too hard on getting somebody who looks exactly like the video game character, right? And whether or not that person is the right fit for the role. And in this case, they went for somebody who they felt really fit the character, even if he doesn't look exactly like Leon in game.
I was going to say Frequent Positron kind of nails the issues with Leon for me on the head. He just says, imagine Leon's hair in real life, which I was going to say, like, casting someone who has Trunks' haircut from Dragon Ball Z would be pretty hard. Like a grown man.
Right. It is weird, actually. When my hair is a certain length, when it's parted right down the middle, I actually do kind of have the Leon haircut. So if anyone wants me to play, wants to hire me to play Leon, nice. I'm available. I'm available.
I will say, Chris, it's who I think is Chris. I'm pretty sure. I could see him punching boulders. He has some guns on him.
Yeah, I hope he does. That would be something I would like them to actually keep, as in the movies.
The funny thing is, I have seen some nitpicks for these screenshots where they're like, why isn't Claire's hair in a ponytail? Where's Jill's shoulder pads? And a lot of people saying that the costumes look a little bit bad cosplay-ish. And I only mostly see that with Leon's police outfit. The Stars uniforms look fine to me. Claire, it's hard to tell, but looks mostly fine to me. And Lisa, I'll have to see her in motion. I'm not sure about Lisa.
I'm looking these up right now just so I can get a closer look at them.
Oh, I have the link for you so you can take a look.
Oh yeah, I've got it. I'm
okay. But
yeah. Yeah, the Leon outfit looks really bad. Like
it seems
really
so
bad.
ill-fitting.
Yeah, but I agree that the Stars uniforms look fantastic. I mean, they're very close to the source material, and they look really good, like in real life. But yeah, it looks like a Spirit Halloween store costume.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, I'll see them. I'm curious. I enjoy me a good Resident Evil movie. By that, I mean there really haven't been any yet. But
I saw the first one in theaters. First two in theaters, and then I gave up.
Same. I think I saw the first two as well. Then I gave up. And I remember liking the first original Resident Evil movie enough at the time. Like it was obviously not very good, but I remember not hating it at least. So
same.
Yeah. I feel like
you guys want to talk about Spirit Halloween costumes? Look at Nemesis in Resident Evil 2. The second movie.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
That was freaking ridiculous. And
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out?
I think it is this year. I want to say November.
I feel like I thought it was this year for whatever reason.
Let's see. I know.
Let's see. Yeah, November 24th.
November 24th. So
yeah.
I'm hopeful. I think it could be pretty good. It is theaters only, so can't have to actually go to a theater for it.
Right.
So we'll see if that gets affected at all. I don't know. But I'm hopeful, and I'd check it out. I'd probably check it out. Give it really, it's hard to tell from just screenshots. I'm hoping for trailers. Like a good trailer would do it.
Yeah, same.
Agreed. I think seeing these characters in motion will probably satisfy some of the doubts I have. Because when I look at the Leon costume, it looks pretty bad in a still, but you never know, like, when they're actually, like, playing a scene out, will, like, care all that much, you know? I am interested in the monster designs or zombie designs. I don't know that thing we see in that picture is a zombie.
Oh, that's Lisa Trevor. Did you ever play the Resident Evil remake?
No, I have not played RE Remake.
Oh, okay. So Lisa is kind of like the proto Mr. X in Resident Evil 2. She doesn't show up a lot. She doesn't stalk in the same way, but she's this sort of unkillable thing that wanders around and can do massive damage to you if you get caught up to it. It was not in the original. And she's basically just incredibly experimented on, very tragic figure, but messed up in the head. It's just one of those, like,
that's cool.
Oof. I mean,
cool as a villain concept.
I think that, like, that weird face, the reason she has the weird face, I'm pretty sure that's her mother's face just sort of pulled over her own.
Oh, you know, as is, want
as
to happen.
Yeah,
as you do. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm like I said, the fact that he pulled Lisa from the remake is interesting to me, but I'm down.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. But there is one more news story to cover, and it can be easily summed up as, oh, Nintendo. So Nintendo has shut down RipTide's Smash tournament over their use of the Project Plus mod. Basically, I believe ensuring that they can actually play online with each other. The event's organizers said in a Twitter post last Friday saying, RipTide was contacted recently by a Nintendo America Inc. representative regarding our Project Plus events. As a result of that conversation, there will be no Project Plus tournaments or setups at RipTide. And the thing is, this thing was scheduled for September 10th. So there's been a lot of complaints from people in the community because, as they mentioned, this was Melee Pro player Joe Sniffy saying, super cool of Nintendo to cancel an event that's been planned for months just 2 weeks before it happens. It's so considerate to all the people that bought plane tickets and hotels months ago, which are now useless. Keep up the great work, Nintendo. And yeah, it's one of those things where they're once again protecting things and protecting their bits and all that, but it's just, they did it so late, it just feels like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that they did it as late as it did. I mean, at some point, I guess you have to expect that this is going to happen, whether it's, right or not, because they did shut down the whole, there's the whole Slippy mod thing from a few months ago. They, didn't want people using that in tournaments. And so I guess at some point you kind of have to expect this behavior from Nintendo, no matter how asinine it is. But it is really messed up that they, basically contacted them so late, so close to the event. Like, I've made my thoughts on the Melee community and the Pro Smash community at times. I've made my opinions on that clear. But I still think it's shitty that all these people who bought plane tickets and hotel rooms and stuff and were planning to compete specifically in this mod, the fact that, now their plans are all messed up 2 weeks out because Nintendo decided to do this now, it's pretty messed up. And it's unfortunate. And as the Kotaku article says, this instance is even weirder because the Project Plus tournament would have been completely offline. So I don't know. Plus, the mod also requires disc copies of Brawl to work, at least according to the article. So it's not as though you're using pirated copies of Brawl either. So it seems to be a bit. I mean, I know Nintendo's got to protect their IP, and that's what it comes down to in the end. I get that, but this just seems like such a specific thing to tamp down on when you're already not playing it online and you're already using legit copies. It's a shame.
The thing is, I mean, like you said, Ash, you have to expect this behavior from Nintendo. Unfortunate though it is, like, nothing in their history has trained us to think that they would let something like this slide. Like if I, you know, wanted to go to a tournament where they were going to play modded copies of Smash Brothers, I would just assume that it wasn't going to actually happen at this point.
Yeah, I would.
And
too.
I hate that that's the logical conclusion here, but Nintendo has never proven to be willing to let people use their IP for any reason, like any. I can't think of like a popular fan-based initiative that utilizes a Nintendo game either as a base for an original creation or as, you know, something to modify that has ever gotten off the ground. We didn't even talk about the fact that Nintendo pulled down another Metroid 2 fan game last week. Because it was,
you mean the Metroid Prime 2D?
Yes.
Thing?
Yeah, that Metroid Prime 2D got DMCA'd out of existence. So, and it's just such a non-event at this point. Like, we all know, like, anytime someone showcases some cool thing that the Nintendo fan community is doing, everyone's like, great, now Nintendo's going to kill it.
Yeah, you cannot show it until it is done.
Yep. Yeah. And so I hate that we live in a world where Nintendo feels like this is the way to protect their IP from its fans.
Meanwhile, you look at the Sonic community and they're like what they do. It's like, geez.
That is precisely where I was headed. Like Sega does it right. Like they encourage their fans to embrace their IPs and use them in interesting and original ways. I mean, there's literally Sonic game jams that happen, which is kind of in a roundabout way how Sonic Mania was born.
Right.
God damn it. Come on, Nintendo. Like, it's not going to hurt your sales for people to play a 20-year-old modded copy of Smash, but Nintendo's going to Nintendo, and
that's really what it comes down to.
They may be, I still love them.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, it's you know, it's ethically, it's a shame. Like it's just you wish they wouldn't clamp down on something so specific and try to protect the IP. And we're not even talking about modding Ultimate. This is such we're talking about Brawl here. And so it's a shame that they have to, you know, kind of clamp down on something so specific. But on the other hand, they also, as much as we don't like it, they also don't owe anyone anything. They don't owe the Smash community the allowance of letting them play this mod. Like, it's not Project Plus. They don't owe anyone support for that. So it sucks, but, you know, technically they are well within their legal rights to do this. It's a shame, though.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame. But they also know people are going to continue buying Ultimate. You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Ultimate's the latest and greatest thing, and it's wildly popular, and this isn't going to stop people from buying or supporting Ultimate, nor should it, in my opinion. But they know that, and they know they can easily. The straight truth is the vast majority of people who play Smash aren't going to care about this at all, and that's just kind of
true.
What it comes down to.
I mean, and Nintendo didn't go after any of the other tournaments. Like they're still hosting the Smash Ultimate tournament, their Splatoon 2 tournament, or RipTide. So it's all not taken care, you know, all there. But apparently a sequel event of sorts to RipTide called Low Tide City is taking place in October, and it's still set to feature Project Plus. You know, maybe you're just quoting disaster at this point.
I was like, I feel like it's not going to feature Project Plus, but I guess we'll see.
Yep.
But yeah.
Come on, Nintendo. Let people have fun.
Right. And Jet said, no, RipTide as a whole wasn't shut down. It was specifically the Project Plus tournament at RipTide.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's RipTide itself is still good. So it's just the people who are going there specifically for Project Plus.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just, as Steve said, it's the most predictable thing out there. And if it wasn't such a pretty much slow news day, this probably wouldn't even made it onto the news, because it is just, yep, that's Nintendo.
Yep.
So that's just how it is. But with that said, that's pretty much it for the news this week. Today, not a whole lot happened over the weekend, but maybe that's for the best, because Steve was in slumber, so he had no way to interact with it.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we've covered all the major headlines from today's news. But before we sign off, As always, we want to give a special thank you to all of our patrons, big and small. It just means so much that you want to put your money behind us and support us in that way. It is, we are just so grateful. And of course, a extra special thanks to all of our patrons at the producer tier, as this show just simply would not be possible without all of you. So thank you so much. And finally, a massive, massive thank you to our executive producers and above. And that includes Jared Edinger, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Itiono Ben, Dan Entwistle, Dennis J, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kitty Kong Fax, Angel Martinez, Vedran Hotek, 112, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Pagrama, Ken Roulette 09, Jake Pelka, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Joseph Bayer, Orem M, Sakuragi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Fizzy Wighoid, Critmonger, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, West Egg, Deaneth, Coda, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes in 60 Seconds, Christopher Masterson, Spicy Pandotter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Kotar Peck, Scuff196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derek, Nathan the Voice Actor, Chibi J, Bongo Lover, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Fangs, Dinner Sonic, Freyam, Mason Riley, and Keel. Thank you all so much for your support. Means the world. And geez, there's so many of you. That is ridiculous. But one final thing before we completely sign off, as this past weekend, I believe, was the birthday of one Matt McMuscles. So happy belated birthday to him.
It was indeed.
So
happy birthday.
And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can get access to our exclusive post show and ad-free content for as little as $5 a month. You want that 2-hour Ace Attorney discussion in podcast form? That's how you'll get it. That might be good for on the go. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. So until next time, good night. Good vibes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.